So like, oh, am I on? Okay. So like Sarah said, I've had the privilege of partnering with Hal and with Sarah specifically on this. And you'd think since I get to help make the schedule that I wouldn't have scheduled myself as the last speaker on a Monday. I mean, a beautiful Saturday, excuse me, after such killer acts like Stefan and Michael Lejeune. But be that as it may, here I am. I thought it was interesting this morning when Donna Ferruggio was talking about the need for us to work with more and more with outside partners, that I had been experiencing that myself and talking to a lot of other colleagues who do what we do, who are in the same position. So it also made me feel good because this is probably a very good topic to be discussing today. So I'm going to jump right in. Now, by the way, the graphics, I originally was going for kind of a Mad Men kind of feel, and that looked a little tacky to me. So I kind of dug a little deeper, and I don't know whether any of you guys saw or grew up with, I'm dating myself, all those old cartoons and animations from the 50s and 60s when Mad Men was really happening. So I decided to pull from that. So I've got these kind of little characters that are near and dear to my heart because they really make me think back on all those times when I was a kid with my Bosco and watching Howdy Doody and all that kind of stuff. So in any case, I hope you'll enjoy them. So I want to start with a story, Tag You're It. In 2001, I worked for Gund, G-U-N-D, the soft toy company. And we were going through a lot of changes at that time. As a matter of fact, we got created a position of president or head of sales. And he was is a brilliant salesman, not so great marketer, but took it upon himself to partner with an outside agency, unbeknownst to me, and I was head of the creative team at that time, nor the head of marketing, who was a little bit more miffed than I was, and rebranded the entire corporation without us knowing about it. This was the logo. Now, the rationale behind the logo was, if any of you know Gund and you know the packaging or whatever, the Gotta Get a Gund rectangle with the rounded corners was the logo. And it was used on our hang tags or on any of our packaging in our catalogs as the mark. When he was working with the agency, I think it was CMD, they were looking for an iconic image that really represented Gund, and they said, well, everybody knows the hang tags on the toys. I mean, they see the red Gotta Get a Gun hang tag. It just, if you're from the Northeast, it's just kind of ubiquitous. And so they said, let's make that the logo. So they came to us after this was a fait accompli and said, here's the new logo. And the first thing I said was, so you want us to put a logo that's a hang tag on a hang tag? And they were like, well, we didn't really think about that. And it really speaks to my next slide, which is when you're working with outside agencies, you're really managing three relationships. You're not just managing the relationship with your, as I'll call them, partners, external partners. You're also managing your relationship with the internal clients and the agencies. Of course, you're managing your own relationship with the internal clients, and you're managing the relationship between yourself and the company and the outside agency. And what I mean by that is that there are going to be times when your clients are going to want to do something with the agency that's not in the best interests of the company. And so you're not always representing, the client is not always right in these relationships. There are times when there are branding mandates or strategic mandates that supersede something that maybe the individual client wants to do with an agency. And that's a key point where we can come into the process and really add value. Because if we're not there and the clients are all doing their own things with the agencies, all sorts of stuff is going to come out, as many of you maybe have seen, and it can be a real problem from a higher branding perspective for your corporation, especially with product, people who are branding their products, who want to make their product front and center, sometimes to the detriment of the overall corporate brand. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to someone at Stefan's, during Stefan's exercise, who's dealing with that problem right now with his company. So I want to define the partners. So who are our partners? Well, certainly they're external ad agencies. They're external design firms, and I think we all probably know the distinction there. One of the newer partners that I think many of us are starting to work with now are new media development groups. So companies who do web, but more importantly mobile or touchscreen applications that we may not have the expertise in-house to be able to manage or be able to get that talent in to take on those types of assignments. There are also media production houses. The distinction I make there is video, film, audio, anything that might be a little bit out of our wheelhouses as internal corporate groups. Finally, I would note that we also have to partner with other internal agencies, other in-house groups. Out of curiosity, how many of you are not the only in-house creative team in your companies? Okay, so that's easily 30, 35, maybe even 40%. So we have to partner with them too, right? And there are times when we may have to deal with them almost as if they're an external agency. So I'm going to be talking a bit about that relationship as well. So the value proposition, which I'd like to talk about, is important for us to understand because it's going to help us articulate to our clients and upper management when they should or shouldn't be using external agencies. So the agency advantages would include, well, they have industry expertise. Sometimes when we're on the inside, we don't get a broader sense of what's going on in our industry. When I mean industry, I mean specific to the company that we're working for. So they may work for other competitors of our company, which at times could be a good thing because they have a sense of what's going on with them. We may not. They have strategic expertise. I would say that overall, at least in my experience, in-house groups are more I don't want to say the word production. That would be a misrepresentation, but maybe not the highest level, what I would call tier one creative, where you're doing the focus groups, the research. We often don't have that capability. Agencies do.